Alright, what's up guys? I just got this Apolosign PackGo in yesterday, and well, I'm going to be returning it probably tonight or tomorrow night because of a couple of reasons, but I figured I'd give you guys a quick review because all the other online reviews I see tend to be, I guess, fluff pieces. They don't really review any of the issues the thing has or what it's like to use, so I figured I'd show it to you guys before I review it, but there was one big deal breaker for me that I will show you in a second that's going to make you return this. Let me open it up for you. The case is the best part of this thing. Probably because they just stole it from LG, but it really does just feel awesome to physically manipulate. But one thing I didn't know when I got this is they make it out to be like this entertainment portable briefcase smart monitor, and it is not a smart monitor. It's not a monitor at all. It is actually just an Android tablet, a giant Android tablet. See, I just opened the Peloton by accident. So when you move around, it's just an Android tablet. There is no other operating system other than this. Like when you plug in a monitor, you have your little dipstick you use to change picture quality settings or volume. None of that here. None of that here. This is just an Android tablet. You cannot change picture settings, input settings whatsoever. So you can see, change the volume here. You try to change the picture settings. You go into here, into display, and you can't even really change the colors, right? So it is just an Android tablet. It's not a monitor. It is an Android 27-inch tablet, which is pretty funny. It does play HD video on YouTube and Netflix. Let's see it marked as Brownlee. But it will play 1080p. I know a lot of jank Chinese stuff won't, but this will. Please. We can see I can go in and change the settings to be 1080, and it will play 1080p. EP. So that does work, and Netflix will be 1080p as well if you use it. You can just go in the App Store. It is App Store approved. I don't have my account signed anymore because I'm going to return it. But use all the normal Android functions are there. Where it kind of falls apart is when you try to use it like a portable monitor or portable TV anymore. Right? And you can play games on it too. Games are smooth. But my big problem with it, the big reason why I did not like this thing, so I wanted to hook up my Switch or my Video Shield, Steam Deck, whatever, any device in here. So I can just hook it up, not bring a dock, have it play smoothly, and use it kind of that way. So that's like bring a dock, a power battery bank and stuff. But it has a big problem in that it just barely works. In fact, they say that it is a seamless gaming experience. But if I plug in my Switch here, I'll go into USB alt mode. And one thing you notice is, even though it's a touchscreen, you can't do any touch actions at all. These ports, these USB ports, will not hook up to the Switch like it would be if it was a dock. It would just, they do nothing. So you can only do wireless connections with it. And the biggest thing is if you try to get into it, keep trying to use it like it's a touchscreen because it is, but it just doesn't work that way. But in USB-C alt mode, it just has this terrible smearing effects. And this is universal between devices too. It's a problem with how they implemented the port. Let me make two CPUs fight real quick. So maybe you could see the smearing a little bit. But you will notice, like, you see how it is just very, like, super ghosting going on in the screen? That's not my camera. Like, that is very much so visible in real life. It's like watching two characters on the screen at one time. You see, like, it's just super smeary. And when you try and play with it, there's a ton of input lag. They, like, not just like, oh, I'm a competitive gamer, but like there's There's a lot in this. It is basically unplayable. I took it over to a friend's house and tried to show it to them there, and their 6-year-old kid did not want to use it because it felt too laggy to him. He wanted to use their TV. It was just a cheap Walmart Roku smart TV too, so it's not like it's performance monitor or anything they were comparing it to. It just feels awful to play with, and I'll show you why. So I didn't do a proper implementation. You notice this? Let me swipe up. Look at that. Look at the little gesture bar down there. Let me swipe up. It's just running in an Android app inside the Android operating system. So again, this is just an Android tablet. It is not a monitor like they say it is. It is just literally an Android thing. And instead of doing a proper implementation of the I/O, they just made this EWC web port app to show the video in and have it play this way. And you might say, okay, well, I can't use this port to play how I want to. All right, let me go ahead and use it with an OEM switch dock. Maybe the performance will be better this way. Except if you do it in HDMI, it does the same exact thing with no difference, actually. Should have unraveled this before. There we go. Second to display. Sorry, I just pulled this out quick out of my bed because I was about to return it, and I was like, I figured I might as well do a video of it. You can see the Android bar is still there, and this is weird Android loading screen, and it goes into it. The smearing is gone. The input lag is better, but it still sucks. It's still not something you want to play on. It's still like, I measured it. I tried to measure it by measuring the frames of input between my TV and this one, and it has like an extra 50 milliseconds, or around 3 frames. And that's like on top of what already exists. So like probably total latency on this thing is like 150, 200 milliseconds, which just feels like you press a button and you wait a second and then it does what you want it to do. It feels awful. You would not want to play games on this. And that extends to any console you plug in. You can't plug a laptop into this or a computer. It'll suck. It'll be awful to use. Just anything. So they didn't implement actual firmware for this thing. They just made an Android tablet. So it's a video here, and it sucks. It is terrible. It is not just like, bad for like competitive gaming. It is, you wouldn't want to use this. It just sucks. This is a big feature for me. I would look it around and hook up my little gaming systems going out places, but it's not usable for that purpose. I would not touch it. Yeah. Oh, let me show you this real quick. Speakers are good though. I feel like, oh yeah, every time you close and reopen it, it does this HDMI loading screen. I would say sometimes the audio doesn't come back. You have to close and reopen the app. Speakers are great though. They're good. Uncomfortably loud. Anything else I should show you guys before I pack this thing up and ship it back? Oh, I can show it here too. You see there's this little launcher on the top left to make it look like it's doing something, but it's just an app launcher. It opens this EWC launcher app. Just doing some weird capture processing of the ports over here. Yeah, not great, not great. Everything else is fine. It feels smooth. There is the Pixcase on Kickstarter, and I don't think it'll be any better than this. It has the same exact little app launcher in the top left corner, and they use the same operating system. Like, all their screens are the exact same, even though it's one Android version later. I can't imagine it's going to be a full implementation. Use the same exact hardware. The I/O is all the same. It's identical, other than more RAM and an Android operating system upgrade. It's just not. Don't buy this thing if you want to plug in any of your consoles, I guess. If you want to use any of the ports on the side. You just want a giant YouTube, Netflix, Android tablet to bring you to camping or something, I suppose it's fine. I haven't tested the USB functionality because I would never use that. So, but yeah, I would recommend not hooking this thing up to any I/O. and only buy it if you want the Android functionality of it, and then the Bluetooth speaker. Everything else is just, it's basically a scam. I would not buy it. And again, I think the Pixcase is going to be the same. Yeah, that's all. Bye, guys.